Hey YouTube, it's Corlash1990, and today I'll be doing an update to my Deathspeaker deck, kind of continuing my sort of like deck building journey with the Sorcery TCG and the decks that I've been having a lot of fun with. And yeah, it's here's Deathspeaker. Not really going to go over it too much because I've gone over it quite a bit in the past, but if you don't know, here you go. Just know that it is a very cemetery heavy based deck with like a mortal kind of a combo theme going on with it. So I'll be going over the Atlas first, and if you didn't know, all of my decks from here on out are going to be a 40 card minimum Atlas and a 60 card minimum Spellbook, since that will be the minimum once probably set 3 hits. Currently it is 30 Atlas and 50 Spellbook now that Arthurian Legends has been released, but just going forward, just know that. So there's not a whole lot of changes to this deck, but the cards I got added in here are, I think, incredibly good for Deathspeaker. So for the first site that's new in the deck, it is the Glastonbury Tour. I think I'm saying that right. It's one of the unique tri-sites. So it's matches all 3 of the elements that we are playing. And basically these tri-sites don't do anything if they are not on your back row. Like they have to be played to your back row. As you can see, only provides mana and threshold while in your back row. And I was really fortunate to get a foil one of these. I was quite happy about that. And so, as per usual, running 3 colors, so we're running 3 of all the dual sites that match what we're playing. And a couple new sites. We have 2 Cursed Land. It's a fire threshold site. And it says whenever another site is played nearby, its controller loses 2 life. Not only does it have excellent artwork, it reminds me of the draft site, kind of. But it's also just good ping damage if your opponent's playing sites near you. So it's kind of a little board, control kind of a theme going on. Next time, running 3 copies of Poisoned Well. This site is very, very good. Fire threshold, exceptional, so you can have 3. It says Genesis, enemy avatars lose 1 life for each nearby site they control. So, yeah, if they're trying to rush a bunch of sites in front of you, drop one of these out, hit them for like 2 or 3 damage. Pretty good. And again, I love the draft sites that come in the draft kit. The artwork for them is amazing, so I am running them because why not? Observatory for air. It's just really good to filter the top cards of your deck. I run 1 of each tower. I've had quite a few people comment why I'm not playing more of these. Personally, I like treating them as unique sites. And I like running Spire because the artwork is stunning on this. I absolutely love the artwork on this card. So I will run them. If you don't like that or don't agree with it, then run the towers. But I run this because the artwork is just so amazing. So, yep, that's that. Now for the Earth sites, I'm running 1 of each of the villages. Common Village is a new one that we got in Arthurian Legends. It's exactly the same as the other 3, I believe. It's just Genesis, pay 1, summon a foot soldier here. So getting mortals out is pretty key for this deck to function. So having these is quite nice. Again, I like running these draft sites, so I run them. If you don't, obviously run something else. Like it's not really a big deal. But this also reminds me of my old home. So where I used to live in Napa Valley, this looks exactly like where I used to live, and it brings back some good memories. So I play that. And I believe, oh yeah, there's new sites here. But if you're running Deathspeaker, hands down, get yourself a Geistwood. It makes Genesis trigger on Deathrite, so pretty good. Boneyard just gets back dead minion or dead cards for both players. But we're going to be doing a lot of that, so it's pretty good. Mirror Realm, if this card's great in every single deck. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. You don't need it. If you're looking to build Deathspeaker, this is probably one of the first cards I would recommend getting. So get a Geistwood. This can basically function as a second Geistwood. And now this site. I like talking about these together because I think they're both equally must pickups. So this is Valley of Delight. I talked about it in my previous deck. It's a Genesis, choose 1 of the 4 attributes, and this site permanently provides that attribute. This might be the best site from Arthurian Legends, and I don't think it's I'm going to say it is. Either this or Avalon. I really like both of those sites. Yeah, for multicolor decks, which going forward, I think most decks are probably going to be multicolor. No, not saying monocolor is bad, but there's a lot of benefits to playing multicolor, and it's really easy now because there's so many dual type sites. Yeah, this card's insane. Like, get multiple play sets of this card. Just like what I've been saying about Crossroads, still an excellent card. It's like our only fetch kind of site for the game. Get multiple play sets of this card. I honestly can't stress that enough. And that's it for the Atlas. It's not really a whole lot has changed for the Atlas. It's pretty straightforward. Just running some more, dual attribute type cards and such. Now for the Spellbook. And I'm just going to go over just card by card. I normally separate like minions and stuff, but we're just going to do card for card. So the first new card we have, I actually got a foil one of these, is pretty cool, is a Sir Morian. It's a 1 earth, double fire, 4 cost, 3 power. Genesis, summon 2 foot soldier tokens here. And then enemy projectiles can't enter here. So being able to stop projectiles and just keeping this dude near your avatar is really good. It stops like ice lance and type like whatnot. So pretty good to protect your avatar from like random burn and whatnot. But getting free foot soldier tokens on a Genesis ability is quite good because our deck functions a lot with getting mortals out and then having them kill themselves to then bring other free cards out. And this guy is a pretty good enabler for that. Again, Death Dealer. If you're playing Deathspeaker, I highly recommend playing Fire and getting a Death Dealer. This and Geistwood are probably my first recommended pickups for playing Death Dealer. Just Genesis, kill all other minions. Pretty good. A card I've been debating taking out, but it's still in here, which is Courtesan Thassus. When it's Genesis, is each turn is controlled by the previous player. Yeah, by a previous player. So you kind of control your opponent's turn, and a janky combo you can do is put a Seasoned Sellsword near their avatar, and then when you take control of their turn, have them discard their entire hand to gain control of Seasoned Sellsword a bunch of times. And yeah, you just kind of like time walk them, it's pretty rough. It's not a fun combo, but the card's still in here because, I own one, so might as well. And speaking of which, here's Seasoned Sellsword. As I mentioned in the last video, you use it to discard a lot of your cards to then replay them for their Genesis abilities with Deathspeaker. And there's some cards that we do want in our discard pile because they will come back even outside of Deathspeaker. Next, the same as before, Cauldron Crones. This card's one of the better like engine type cards for the deck. At a Genesis, you sacrifice another minion here to draw a spell, sacrificing a mortal to then trigger some of the other cards we have in the deck to play them for free, which is pretty good. These themselves are mortal. A lot of this stuff is actually mortals, so very synergistic, and everything in this deck pretty much ties together with another card in here. So it's, like I was saying, this whole deck is a synergy incarnate, basically. And if you're playing Deathspeaker, you're playing Violimp, especially, this is why I say you're playing Fire. There's so many good Fire cards for Deathspeaker. 2 cost, 2 power, Genesis, deal 2 damage to an adjacent unit. That can be avatars, so all around very good card. This one I'm now debating taking out because there's just so much stuff available with our 3 Legends, but it's still in here for now because it's still a solid card. Eremos Mercenaries. 3 cost, but we'll never play this card, so let's just pretend that's not there for 3 power. And then you can discard a random card from your hand rather than paying this spell's mana cost. Do know things that you're playing for free, you still need the threshold requirements to put them into play, so let's kind of keep that in mind. Not going to be a big deal, especially with all the dual providing sites that add to the already existing ones from our 30 Legends. But we don't care about discarding cards. We have a lot of stuff we want to be discarded or in the cemetery anyway, so this card kind of fuels that on top of being a free 3 power minion. And again, I'm playing Aaron here, so Grandmaster Wizard is an obvious include. 6 cost, Spellcaster, Genesis, draw 3 spells. So for 6 cost, you're drawing a new hand. Very, very good. And again, filling out the discard theme, Nimbus Djinn, one of our finishers for this deck. 6 cost, 4 power, Airborne, and discard a spell, deal 3 damage to another random unit here. So this kind of fly to your opponent's avatar, and you can just machine gun them a bunch. So pretty sweet there. And again, this is the start of like our mortal killing off sort of package. We've got Moonclan Werewolf, 3 cost, 3 power, sacrifice an allied mortal, summon the Moonclan Werewolf from your hand to the mortal's location. So with the foot soldier tokens or like any of this like stuff that has Genesis, more of it in the deck that we want dead, to then replay again to gain those values all over again. Moonclan Werewolf is great. Triggering a mortal death, filling up our cemetery with things with Genesis, Again, free 3-power minion, pretty good. Here's a new card from the new set. Probably one of the best cards for Deathspeaker as far as the spellbook goes. It is Sisters of Avalon. 2 cost, only 1 air threshold for 1 power. Spellcaster, Genesis, discard a spell, draw a spell. This card's very good. If you're playing Deathspeaker and you're playing air, which you probably are, put 3 Sister Avalon in your deck. It's great. Again, we don't care about discarding cards. We want our cemetery full. This does that on top of replacing the card we drew with the new card. So being able to dig through the deck deeper is great. And again, you know, we're playing air, so for Wizard's Apprentice, Spellcaster, and its Genesis, draw a spell. Very good. And it's immortal. The Sisters are mortals as well. And here's another new card that we got from Arthurian Legends that I have tested out in this deck quite a bit, and it's been quite good. So it's Kneeing Banshee, 4 cost, double air threshold, 3 power, maybe cast for 0 if an allied mortal died this turn, which, as you can see, we have a ton of ways to go about doing that. So free 3-power minion. There's like a lot of that going on in this deck. And we are playing Earth, so Ratanus Titan's pretty cool. It's a finisher, but it's also just a good board clear for, or a site clear card, I should say. Genesis, strike each enemy here. Pretty good. Got 4 land surveyors. They are mortals, and they just Genesis, draw site. So it's one of our cheaper mortals to play, which grants us some card draw, well, site draw. And it's just a good way to recycle stuff and so on and so forth, digging deeper into that, the Atlas, so we don't have to waste our card draw drawn from the Atlas to get sites. We can just play these to fill our hands up to flood the board with sites. We have, again, the same for Scourge Zombies. 4 cost, 2 power. Whenever an allied mortal dies on land, you may summon Scourge Zombies from your cemetery to its location tapped. So this is one of the ideal cards we want to be discarding as well to get those free 2-power minions. And then the rest of the deck is all of our non-mortals, which has not changed at all from the last build. So we have a Panoptic Manuscripts. This is a really good way to get mortals to die as well, on top of getting card draw. Simply says, bearer has tap. Reveal your topmost spell, draw it. Bearer takes damage equal to that card's cost. So with Sir Morian and Manuscripts, it's you get Morian and 2 Foot Soldier tokens. Have the 2 soldier tokens use the manuscripts and die to draw 2 cards. You can have Sir Morian draw the draw card, have him die. Then you can cast him again with Deathspeaker. He goes away but gives you 2 more mortals. Have both those mortals use the manuscript again. That's 2 more cards. So 2 cards plus Deathspeaker's ability draws you 5 spells, which is pretty sweet. Unless you draw a card that doesn't kill Sir Morian, which is pretty funny, but still very good. Pact with the Devil, it's a 4 cost. Sacrifice the caster or lose half of your life rounding up. If you do, draw 3 spells. So again, like a Cauldron Crones, or like any of the other spellcaster stuff we have, you can have them cast Pact with the Devil, draw 3 spells, have them die. They're going to be mortals, so then you can play a free Kneeing Banshee or get free Scourge Zombies from your cemetery, so on and so forth. And then the rest is kind of just, I'll put Grapple Shop down here. But Raise Dead, I should go over this first. Raise Dead is one of the only reanimate spells in the game, and it summons a random dead minion. This does affect your opponent's cemeteries, so you can get some pretty cool stuff with it. The rest of it is our like late game finishers if we need to just ping damage to our opponent while they're on death's door. This is a great way to do it. 2 Grapple Shot. I don't really like playing this card more than 2 of. Honestly, this card should have been printed at Elite or Unique, not Ordinary. I would have even taken Exceptional, honestly. This card's insane, though. Being able to move and get a free strike, and then being able to tap to strike, or tap striking first, moving, and then striking again, this card's nuts. And again, Lightning Bolt is kind of like just an easy get-out-of-jail-free card. It can kill your opponent's avatar if they're on death's door, no matter where they're at, as long as they're alone. Otherwise, you're playing a little gamble game of dealing 3 damage to a random unit there. And then, yeah, finally, we have 4 Firebolts. Just shoot 3 projectiles in the same direction, 1 at a time. Each deals 1 damage. So if your opponent's lined up for the kill while they're on death's door, Firebolt's a great way to just, kind of clean them off. So anyway, that is the deck. Not a whole lot changed, but what did change, we got some very, very high quality cards, I would say. And I played a few games now with this, and it's been a lot of fun. These new cards we got here, I'll kind of separate them out and get this off screen. Yeah, these, what is this, like 8 cards into the spellbook have been really good. More like Mortal Generation on top of getting a 3-power body that stops projectiles. Keeping him around your avatar is really good. He's a good bodyguard. Sisters of Avalon being a spellcaster and a mortal, and the Genesis discard a spell to draw a spell is just great card filtering while filling our like little mortal discarding engine that we have going on really good. And then yeah, Neeing Banshee just aiding that like engine. This is one of our enablers, and all of these free 3-power minions do add up in the course of a game, and having them attack your opponent's site to whittle them down to death's door, some of your burn effects can kill them off. It's pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to testing this deck more. I have some other cards pulled aside that I won't go over just quite yet, but there is some other stuff in the works. And yeah, this deck has been a lot of fun. It's consistent, but it's not consistent enough to where I'm getting bored of it, like where I was with the 40-20 deck size. And yeah, it's just been a blast. So if any of you have tried this deck build out, the like mortal sacrificing free minion build, let me know what you think of it down below. If there's any cards that you are, interested in seeing in the deck or thought have been good that I don't play, again, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you all later. See ya.